Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul. In this video, we're breaking down Welcome to Derry. HBO have just launched the mid-season trailer, which covers a lot of things happening in the series. It gives us a tease at what's coming down the line and also sets up major hints as to how things are going to end. I don't want to waste any more of your time because I'm your mate, so let's just play the trailer and then break it down right after it.
You convinced everyone to come and see me because you're such a good friend.
Scouts have noted that the residents have been acting more aggressively.
Burn in hell, you son of a bitch!
If we're gonna go after this thing, it needs to be all of us.
That goddamn thing forced itself into my head.
It can't be controlled.
You put us in a cage with a goddamn monster!
The one thing that makes people really listen is fear. You are fucking insane.
This is what it wants, to turn us against each other.
You got my mind all fucked up.
I've always wondered how you taste. Take my hand.
Okay, so the teaser begins with a classic Pennywise right on the HBO logo before we then transition into Lily in an attic room. There she is, looking over photographs of Pennywise, the dancing clown who came with his daughter to Derry during the 1900s. Now, we have seen the continuation of this shot in the Looks Ahead trailer that was released just after episode 1, so we know there's a further moment with a head popping up behind her. This was someone with long black hair, and I believe it's a person that Lily's been going to for aid. This relationship started when she was in Juniper Hill, and we've seen her throughout the series offering advice. Now, if you've seen our videos on that, then you know that we've theorized that this is Mrs. Kirsch. It's who Beverly visited during It Chapter 2, and we saw similar photos. I also think that Kirsch was the young girl we saw at the beginning of episode 3, and we see a similar wig up in this room that the kid had there. Same bells on the side and everything. Now, it's important to note that the images that Lily's looking at aren't a young Pennywise, or well, a young It. Instead, they're Mr. Kirsch, who performed as the clown with his daughter as part of the circus. Does that make sense? We see photos of them, including the date and the fateful summer of 1908. That's when Pennywise committed the Kitchener Ironworks massacre, which was what ended this cycle. It was during this, though, that he saw Kirsch, aka Bob Gray, along with his daughter. Before this, Pennywise had been attacking people in lots of different predatory forms. He'd been giant birds, zombie mooses, and then them colonizers that we saw attacking the Native Americans. However, this often ended in frustration. Just as we saw with the Skeleton Man, kids instantly became afraid and then made a run for it. So it realized that if it became a clown, then people would drop their guard and be lured in before it attacked. I feel like after the Skeleton Man fails to catch sure that it will then return to the circus, see Pennywise luring in all the kids and then take his form. That kid at the start of episode 3 was also sat there looking like she was looking for someone, and potentially her dad might be missing or something and she's waiting. Where is he? And yeah, he's being killed by Pennywise.
I will remember you.
The woman in the series being this kid could also explain why she's more open to Lily's visions. As we know, Pennywise also takes her form with Bev down the line, and so it's basically ruined her and her father's image. And yeah, even looking at these old photos here seems super creepy, but this is just a dad and daughter. Nice ones as well, who always hit the thumbs up. We then cut to the creature Pennywise in the sewers. It's taunting someone for bringing people down there, and I believe that this is to Lily. She pretty much takes the focus in the opening of the trailer, and the way it sarcastically calls her such a good friend seems like that makes sense. It does, mate. Then cut to her riding her bike akin to Bill riding Silver. She screams as she pedals along, and I'm guessing that something happened in the sewers. Next we hear a Native American voiceover talking about how their scouts have noticed that the violence is rising in Derry. This is the tribe of Maturin who are meeting to discuss the town. Typically, every cycle begins with a disappearance, and then people in the town get more and more violent. It always ends with a giant massacre, with this period being the fire at the Black Spot. We then see Hank being carted to a Shawshank bus, which is when someone comes out and tries to shoot him. I'm guessing this is one of the dads whose kids got killed at the Capitol Cinema, and he's doing some vigilante justice on the guy who he thinks killed his kid. This is clearly influenced by Pennywise though, as Charlotte notices the prison guard with his iconic smile. Now I do think that Hank will survive. This is, wouldn't be much of a show if he didn't, mate. The guards seem to rush him and grab his gun, and I think that Hank will be okay, and we do see him kind of on the run later in the teaser. But I am kind of also hoping that he gets taken to prison, because I want that Shawshank episode with Red and Andy Dufresne. I want that happening, mate. Shawshank is of course another King book, with that being Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, which was then adapted into the movie The Shawshank Redemption, which I'm sure you know. Anyway, next we cut to the new, or well, old Losers Club, with Marge now being a member. And hey, nice to see you join the losing side, love, because everybody's dead, but I'll explain why later. Now before we get into the rest of the breakdown, I've got something genuinely cool to tell you about, and yeah, this one's actually real life. There's a program from Star Global College offering a tuition-free associate degree in organizational performance and strategy, and the best part is, Heavy Spoilers fans get exclusive access. Exclusive. It's a 4-month online program where you can earn your degree plus 7 professional certifications in leadership, change management, and project management. Basically, all the skills that help you move up, lead teams, and make things happen. You also get live instructor-led sessions, resume support, and a guaranteed job interview once you graduate. So if you've ever wanted to level up, start your own business, or build something bigger than yourself, then this is your chance. Graduates can expect to earn between $65,000 and $120,000 a year, depending on their career path and experience. The program gives you the leadership, strategy, and process improvement skills employers pay top dollar for across lots of different industries. There's no gimmicks, no nonsense. This is just a legitimate opportunity for the community. Hit the link below to secure your spot, and maybe you'll be the next mastermind pulling the strings behind the scenes. Oh, and there's also an added bonus for Heavy Spoilers fans who register. I don't want to spoil it here, but trust me, it's worth checking out. Big thank you to Star Global College for making this happen as well, and for supporting the Heavy Spoilers community. Now, let's get into the rest of the video. Anyway, we next cut to what I think is probably going to be in the next episode. We saw the last one end with Neobolt Street being teased, and that's where we travel to next. The army's mounting up with Daniel taking the lead, and we watch as they go through the front door. In between this, we also have Charlotte, Rose, and Will in the truck, which I think is either a mail truck or a milk truck, but I'm not American, so I don't know what they look like in America, but it does look like what a mail truck looks like in movies to me. Either way, Marge says it needs to be all of them united as one if they're gonna go after this thing. So it seems like the group's all forming with both the adults and kids. I do also wonder if this kind of sets up the speech from earlier by Pennywise, where he basically thanks what I thought was Lily for bringing down her friends. Perhaps while the army's mounting up their assault, we'll also see the Losers Club doing theirs as well. We next see them running under lots of floating bodies, which initially I did think was the kids down the sewers. However, I will talk about why this isn't the case later on. But yeah, just blue and the floating here made me initially think that it was indeed the sewers. Next is Halloran talking about how it entered his mind. He's getting visions, and one looks like a zombie Native American. So this may be something he picked up when going into Daniel's mind. Coupled with this is Rose telling Shaw that he can't use it to stop communism. Which, yeah, it is a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for him. Obviously, you know, he's still going to try it anyway, but I think it's going to all end terribly. Next, we have some dead bodies floating in the water, which Marge is shocked by. It's a lot like the moment in Chapter 1 where the kids get split up and then come across Patrick Hochstetter's corpse. We also see the Black Spot on fire. Now this is the major massacre that ends this cycle. The Black GIs got something good going with the requisition shed and basically turned it into a club. However, one night the Legion of White Decency arrived and burned the place down with people inside. This led to the death of 66 people who were all burned alive in the building. To make matters worse, those who got out were then attacked by Pennywise. Now, it does seem like they removed the sheets from the locals, because in the book they were all wearing KKK robes. We actually see Rich inside the bar as well as it burns and can catch Hank beside him. I do wonder if the Legion will try and justify it by saying they were after Hank, but ultimately all it's going to do is kill a number of innocent people, and then Pennywise will make its move. Next we see Charlotte kicking off with Leroy for bringing them there. We watch as the base operations are also mounting up, including them testing what appears to be one of the totems. This is a way to cage the creature, and technically you could surround it in these and hold it in place. So it looks like they're testing that. And it's a bold strategy, Cotton. It's clear the base are questioning this though, and Leroy calls Shaw insane to his face. Meanwhile, we see the losers on the viewing deck of the standpipe. They're clearly alerted by something and all turn around to see what it is. I do wonder if Pennywise appears here, as the kids used to die in the standpipe quite a bit and they ended up having to close it. They'd be found drowned, and it was often thought to be an attack by it. Next we see Rich saying that it wants to tear them apart, so maybe it appeared here taunting them so they'd leave it alone. Similar to how it did to the Losers Club during chapter 2. Next we see a creepy head pop round a doorway while Dick is clearly shaken up by what's going on in his head. We can see that he's turned to the bottle, which is also way to dull your shine. Now this is actually why Jack and Danny Torrance were alcoholics, as alcohol helped to dull their senses and basically shut out the voices. He's getting lots of different visions and is clearly going a bit mental. Cutting to Pennywise, it then says it always wondered how Lily would taste. This is clearly building off that flooding scene before, as it's the same environment as the bodies. However, Pennywise has a weird mark around his face. Does kind of look like Native American war paint, but it might also be blood. During a deleted scene in chapter 1, after Pennywise ate a baby, yeah, he did appear with his head the same colour. We then see a gas cloud moving over the town. I do wonder if this comes from the base, and it is quite similar to The Mist from the book by Stephen King, and movie as well, and there's a breakdown on the channel now. People get surrounded in this, and it creates a fog over the town. Following on from that floating shot, so again, yeah, maybe it's not the sewers. But yeah, something looks like it causes the flood to go over the town, and I do wonder if it's a chemical or something released from the base. This is when the trailer kind of goes to those quick cut action shots and we see Dick getting swarmed. Daniel also looks through some binoculars, akin to how he did earlier in the season, and we also have Charlotte desperately hitting someone, who definitely isn't Leroy, but it does appear to be in their home. It looks like they have long grey hair, and it may be the Native American character that we see at the 31-second mark. We then see Lily in the sewers, likely building off that scene along with some floating corpses, which again follows on from that moment earlier. The patty cakes also scream and find themselves locked in what appears to be the school gym. I do wonder if Pennywise traps them and then attacks the group. The walls are red halfway up and creamy above it. So it does kind of fit that colour scheme Pennywise has at the minute 4 mark, and yeah, maybe he comes out the wall and then chases the kids. I don't know, mate, we're theorising. What do you want from me? I haven't seen the show yet. We then see what appears to be the fire at the black spot with Pennywise offering his hand. This is to Dick and Ronnie, and hey, maybe he's changed, maybe he's nice now. But yeah, I do wonder exactly what this is and why Ronnie and Dick are even together. In the book, it explains that Dick led Will out of the fire, but in that version, Will is the soldier taking on the Leroy role that he has in the show. Her dad is of course Hank, and I do wonder if he got caught in the fire and now Dick's looking after her. Now we also have to factor into it that in the books, and well, the movie timeline as well, that Veronica gets killed by the creature. Bev hears her voice coming from the plug in her bathroom, so the death is definitely canon with Muschietta's timeline. Because of that, I do wonder if Pennywise is offering to leave them alone if they hand over one of the kids. Chapter 1 ended with Pennywise offering to take Bill, and then he promised the kids he'd leave them alone to go and live happy lives. So I do wonder if it's a similar thing and that it's offering its hand for them to hand the kid over. Would be messed up if Dick's like, fuck them kids, but maybe he did this and carries guilt, and that's why he's protecting Danny Torrance in The Shining. And that's why he flies and then drives like miles and miles through miles of snow to get to the hotel only to get killed. In the movie version. In the book version, he survives. How will they do it? I don't know, but that's everything we noticed. Anyway, great job on that, Paul. Give yourself a pat on the back for that one. Did a fantastic job there. And please like the video and also drop a comment with all your thoughts below. If you want to follow us on Instagram and keep up to date with what we're doing as well, then make sure you check us out at Heavy Spoilers. We also have our merch store behind us if you want to pick up something nice. We've got our Deadlights one there based off the poster for the thing. We've got the Derry balloon there. We've got the Pennywise one there. We've got a Stranger Things one there. Come on, step right up, get your shirts. But yeah, if you buy a lot, you get more of a discount the more you buy. So the more you buy, the more money you get off. So it's worth buying like 3. If you're going to buy 1, you might as well buy 3, basically is what I'm saying. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's picked one up. If you want something else to watch, you've got a breakdown of Welcome to Derry episode 4 on screen right now. I'll see you over there. No slacking, mate. You're late already. Get yourself over there. Cheers.